Hey, good morning guys, Chris here. Today I wanted to bring something a little bit different. I wanted to do a product kind of an unboxing and first impressions. Probably guessed by the thumbnail, but this is one of those BigBoi Pro. I consider it probably like a professional, maybe high-end consumer grade air dryer. So I think I'm pretty positive I am fairly late to the party on this one. Meaning I think this has been out for quite some time, but I just found it last week, so I picked it up. Paid about $400 for this, but it came with a 30-foot hose. I forget where I got it from. But again, I think it's hadn't been out for a while because the place I bought it from, they were having it on sale for like $40 off. Oh yeah, so $3.89 is what I paid. Yeah, so not bad. I don't know much about this company, BigBoi, but I do know that they offer a few different options. You know, kind of a good, better, best for your budget and whatever your need is. I got this because I want some more help drying the small areas on cars that I think. Those who clean cars all the time, you know that cars have their problem areas that just drip water for what seems like forever. Usually it's around emblems, lights. Sometimes cars have like a honeycomb, not so much here. That doesn't do anything, it's just aesthetics. But water does tend to drip from these places. With honeycomb up here, yeah, like see, this would be perfect for it. These little tight knit areas that you just can't get your towel in without spending, a ridiculous amount of time. That's what this is. That's what I think it's going to help me with. And I'm pretty sure it's heated too, which will also aid in the drying. I always use a drying aid whenever I wash my cars, or I should say dry my cars. That's because I don't ceramic coat anything. Not because I'm lazy. Well, I guess it is kind of because I'm lazy, but I like to have, it's a good habit, to consistently have this, what I think would be to layer your self-cleaning properly, whatever you use, whether it's Hydrate or C3 from Adams, or even if you do ceramic coating, it's good to maintain that with layering I think Modesta has something, actually, but you can layer the cleaning properly, so it kind of refreshes it. Anyway, I clean my car so often that a ceramic coating, yeah, it's beneficial, but it's not something I necessarily do. I'll stop rambling. Looks like we got some filters. Okay, this must be that big 30-foot hose. This thing must expand quite a bit. So it's now 30 feet. I like that this thing is on a cart too. Cool. I like that it's on wheels. They had a mountable, like a wall mount option, but I wanted to be able to wheel it around in case I wanted to dislodge something from somewhere small. So okay, let's plug this guy in. Looks like we have a couple different motors. More speeds. Okay, that's half speed. This thing has some power to it. I don't think I'm ever going to really use this. Maybe I will. I don't know. So that latches on like so. A few teeth. Does it twist? It does. Okay, so I'm guessing this hose expands. I read somewhere that this thing is heated. I mean, maybe it takes more than 5 seconds to heat up, but dang, that was a lot of air. I'm gonna put this camera down. I'm gonna wash this guy up. Wintertime Minnesota, these things don't stay clean right now. I'm pretty sure it's snowing right now anyway. I really like this car. Let me get some more experience or time with it, and we'll do a review for you guys. But for now, let's start washing her up. As I fill up my buckets, just thinking about this air dryer here. It's one of those tools that I don't believe is needed. You know, I don't need a like a 2 gallons per minute at 1300 psi pressure washer that works really well when this one's a little smaller, but roughly a 8 to 13 gallons per minute garden hose will do the job just fine. I don't need 6 gallon buckets, 2 of them, when like a one single Home Depot bucket will work. Or this right here, I don't need a tool that's designed specifically for the undercarriage of the car when you don't see the undercarriage of the car. Or I can just reach up with the garden hose and rinse it off. But having tools like this, you know, in the stable, or as you know, with something that I could use, I think has its benefits. I mean, we're going to find out here shortly once I wash this up. Does that make sense? I mean, I've used leaf blowers for the last number of years to wash or to dry, to aid in drying of my car in those small little areas like the honeycomb. Where are we? There we go. In the front grill area. But I don't, you know, a normal cotton towel will work. I don't want to scratch the car, so a normal microfiber towel will work. And I'm not going to use it to dry the entire car because I do like having a drying aid, such as like Hydrate or this C3 stuff is, I think it's C3, right? Whatever this coating is from Adams, or this graphene coating. You know, I like having that as another tool, I guess you can call it, right? I don't ceramic coat my cars, so in theory, I guess I could ceramic coat and just use this to dry it off, just air dry it, and not ever have to touch the car without, with the exception of the washing process. But I believe that layering these hydrophobic products on your car that I have, you know, clear bra, because I don't need, I'm not polishing this and maintaining that by continuously having to polish it or putting a coating on it. It's like your phone, you know, you put a piece of glass or plastic over your screen, it cracks. Ideally, you would just peel that off and put on a new one. Same thing with the clear bra. Yeah, I could ceramic coat the clear bra and it would do the same job as these hydrophobic layers that I add every time I wash, but I don't know. I'm rambling here. The point that I'm trying to make is that this item here is not needed to detail your car. It's just more one of those like a la carte or luxury items that I think will help benefit in the aid of drying out those small places that tend to drip for hours on end. I'll stop rambling. Let's get to washing this bad boy up. where I would typically go around with the leaf blower and blow off as much of the puddle or loose, I don't know, puddle or like trapped water as I can. But let's give this BigBoi Pro a try. So there's a couple settings on here. This is pretty dark, but I can't see. We got half for both and full for both. So I'm gonna put them on half for both and see how that starts. I don't know if that's because it was on half speed, but did you guys hear that whistling sound? That was very annoying. I'm gonna try it on full. That was pretty cool. I can see if you ceramic coat this thing, or any car, or I bet you could easily dry it with that. Where has this thing been all my life? I can definitely feel that it's heated up now, so it must just take a couple seconds for it to get to up to temp. Oh my god, that is so nice for the tires. Disappointed I didn't discover this earlier. Wow, this is pretty incredible actually. Sucks right up. Alright, well, I honestly did not expect to like this that much. I mean, this thing is incredible. I mean, look at the wheels and tires. I haven't even touched this yet. Usually these things take close to an hour or so to dry. Dang. Okay, and it really started to get warm. Not hot, but warm. You know, as it was on for more than a minute. Oh man, I love when I find things like this. I mean, I said earlier, I'm pretty sure I'm late to the party. I think this has been out for a while, but man, I wish I would have seen this sooner because, I really like it. Okay, I'm gonna quickly dry this thing, put a little layer on it, and then I'll come back to you guys. Another use for this that might work out pretty well is doing your mats. So I just scrub these. Usually what I'll do is either hand dry them or just put them on the rack to go drip dry for a while, but that could take some time that I don't have. So let's try to dry them with this. easy as that. These are good to go back right into the car. No waiting needed. Nice. All right, X6, nice and clean. I think this little guy is going to come in handy for more than just drying the small areas or the wheels and tires or the mats. I think we can use this and blow out, a bunch of areas that gather dust. I think it'd be pretty good to use on the inside. Sometimes you get dust that accumulates in like the small little crevices that your brush or your vacuum just cannot reach. But I think this thing is pretty slick. Definitely worth the money. I've said this a few times, but I wish I found it sooner. This would have been a nice tool to have probably a year ago. And I think when it came out, it was about a year ago. All right, guys. Well, it's about 1 o'clock. Pretty positive it's snowing out. That's usually how this day goes for me. Get my car all nice and clean and as protected as it can be. A lot of time I spent. Yep. All right. Well, what can you do? This coming up week, we're gonna be. What is this? See, like I was testing out by blowing out behind the cabinet, and that must have blown out. Weird. Anyway, this weather's supposed to be pretty nice this week, so hopefully a bunch of the snow will melt. We're getting close, boys. I mean, I know it's still, first quarter is not even over yet, but God, I'm itching to get these cars out. I moved the Hummer in anticipation for the 992 coming in 2 or 3 months, but at least it's ready. Just thought of another tool that I could compare this to. These polishers here, I didn't even spend $300-400 on each of these polishers when I can do it by hand. But these tools certainly make the job a lot easier. They take a lot less time. They're more effective, and it's a nice luxury to have. That thing worked out very well. A lot nicer than I thought it would. I just blew everything out of these little crevices. Like typically now, like I could still be getting some drip marks over here. That the towel didn't hit. Like even there's one little drip mark right there. But even the mirror, I would have. I don't think I had any. I have a little bit of drip marks coming down the side. This little area is pretty notorious, I think, for dripping. So first impressions of this BigBoi Pro, it does a very nice job getting into all the nooks and crannies of the integrated trim pieces that you just can't get with a towel. So I definitely would give it my approval. And again, it's one of those tools that you don't necessarily need, but it's very nice to have. But, like I said, I think I'm going to use it for other things besides just drying off the cars. So, all right, guys, so I'm going to end this video here. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. It does help me grow the channel. I like to see this channel become pretty successful. And I think with the arsenal that I have available, I think, again, we're very limited in wintertime. All I can do is clean and show you guys new tools. But this summer, I'm looking forward to taking some of these guys out, doing some, launches, 0 to 60, things like that. So, okay, guys, well, I appreciate it. As always, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.